Me and my family moved from West Palm Beach, Florida to a suburban area outside of Denver, Colorado. We had planned on moving years ago, and we did so as it was getting really expensive to live in Florida no matter where you were. My parents liked Colorado as that's where most of my family lived, and they had also found a really good school for me to go to which had great ratings. I'm not going to mention the name of the school for privacy reasons, but let's just say that it was a fairly new school. It was about 5 miles from our new house, so I could practically walk there without having to rely on any sort of transportation. The new school was far better than the one I originally went to. Nicer students, nicer teachers, and it was very easy for me to talk to new friends. There was one of my teachers, who we'll call Mr. Smith, who was my math teacher, who I really made a great connection with. I hated math, who doesn't, but Mr. Smith made math a lot more fun. He'd be willing to help people in class no matter how many times someone asked, and I'd also like to mention that he was hands down one of the best teachers throughout the school. I only wish I still had him as a teacher after what happened this one day. It was a Friday, which just so happened to be the last day before spring break. I was in my second to last class with my English teacher when our principal came on the speaker and told the school that this was a code red, and that all students should get inside the classroom immediately. I'm pretty sure no one in my class has ever been in a real lockdown before, so we were all huddled in the corner. A few people were so scared that they actually started to cry, thinking they were going to get harmed. My teacher told everyone to be quiet and to not make any noise for any reason. It felt like an eternity sitting in the corner, waiting for the all clear. However, I then began to hear heavy footsteps from down the hall. The only reason as to why I could hear it was because I was the closest to the back door. I didn't know if anyone else heard it, but I looked through the little glass window on the door to see a man dressed in all black. However, I couldn't see his face as he was wearing a hoodie, but I instantly knew that he was up to no good. I didn't know how it happened, but he turned his head toward my direction and must have caught me looking at him from the window. He came right up to the door and started pounding on it. The whole class screamed and cried while the man kept trying to bust down the door. However, I knew there was a slim chance of that, as these doors are bulletproof and meant to be almost impossible to break open from one person. After several bangs and kicks to the door, he had finally given up and walked away. The principal then came back on and said it wasn't all clear. Now, this is where the disturbing part comes in. Apparently, a man had just broken into a nearby gas station and had shot the employee. I later learned that 4 people, 2 of them being teachers, had been shot. One of those teachers was Mr. Smith. I was told that he was escorted to the hospital by paramedics. However, he had unfortunately died in the hospital 2 days later due to loss of blood from the wound. I still have no idea if the man was ever caught or not, but I'd like to think he was. My condolences go out to Mr. Smith's family and relatives. It's really sad to know that such a great person with a happy personality got taken away from a school who adored him.